Hello, everyone. Welcome to Melissa's Musings, Featured Friend Friday. Yes, I'm glowing, so let's see. Let's try and work with our lighting here a little bit. Whoa, there we go. All right. I've got my good friend Amy coming on today to join me. Let's see if it's going to work for me. Yay! I think she's coming on in here. Yay!
Hi!
How's it going? I'm like glowing, so I'm trying to figure out why. Like I'm closing the curtains.
I'm trying to share so we can get you know what?
Okay.
How perfect that you're glowing given our topic today.
But
See?
So for those of you that don't know Amy, she is an amazing coach here in San Diego. She's an amazing friend to me. Do you want to intro yourself and share a little bit about who you are with the audience?
Sure. Oh, okay. Who am I in 60 seconds or less? I am a life coach. I support people in breaking through their mindset patterns, the way that they've been operating in their life so that they can create true shifts and changes. And some of what we're going to be talking about today is really around, being grounded and centered and tuning in energetically and allowing that to lead the way. So a lot of what I do with people is around how do you live your best life and go for your big goals and stay committed and like all the things up to big stuff, while at the same time really staying grounded, staying human, as I call it, which we all know humanness is like messy, and having compassion for ourselves when we fall, when we fail, all the things. And then I know a lot of your people are from Ascension Leadership Academy, so I've also been pretty involved there with different things, and that's how we met. So yeah, and my dog Buddy is like running around, so you might hear a little bit of noise. I also just got done with a hike at Torrey Pine, so I am like sweaty and gross.
I love it. You look like you've embraced nature. I mean, you're looking so fabulous as always. I would never have. I'm I'm getting close to the screen so I can see. Like you don't even look sweaty. You look very glorious.
Oh,
actually.
I'm glowing in my own way. I'm glad this is just alive and it's not like, I don't know, there's not like smell-o-vision like from Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Those of you watching, David, Sammy, you're lucky there's no smell supposedly. No, Amy always smells delightful. So one of the things that really I was excited to come on this live to share with you guys is, as you know, the last few weeks I'm feeling much better and things are definitely on the upswing for me. But as I was feeling kind of my worst, like about a week and a half ago, Amy was one of the people that I was reaching out to for some support and some coaching. And she's always so wise with her feedback, of course, and like the expert wisdom that she gives. But really, we started talking about like joy and bliss and like how that's something that's really been coming up a lot for her. And it's something that clearly resonated with me. So do you want to kind of fill us in a little bit on that, Amy? What's been coming up for you around like following joy?
Yeah. Okay, so part of I'm like, how do I take this big whole life lesson thing and get it into Daily Musing? Long story short.
A bite-sized tidbit.
I know. Long story short, if you're watching this and can relate, I have always been one of those people who, like, I'm very giving. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to feel good. I'm one of those, like, if I do something that hurts someone else, like, it'll just completely devastate me. So what's interesting is through this whole, okay, well, what really brings me joy? What really brings me happiness? There's almost a feeling of selfishness. So I think that's big to know, because I also think that when you're in a situation like, your health, you're having a lot of, issues with it. So you cannot do a lot of the things you would normally like to do. I think oftentimes it can feel like this level of I'm being, Conchetta, what's up? I'm being selfish. Well, no, I'm actually not. I'm truly like following the joy of what's lighting me up in the moment. So,
Yeah, and that's what my struggle has been in
yeah.
like that like conversation in my head. Oh no, like that's you're being selfish.
Yes. So, there's actually an event tomorrow. There is a baby shower tomorrow. I'm going to like just straight up tell my personal business because it's relatable and then you guys will understand. Um I'm supposed to go to a baby shower tomorrow for a friend in LA. And I started to really lean into what feels more joyful for me. And the more joyful option is actually something else. And it honestly, and like, so I told her, I'm like, it feels selfish to me. I was talking to a friend yesterday. Like, it feels selfish for me not to go. Like, she's a friend. I love her. I'm excited for her. Like, normally I'd be all about it. I said I would go. And yet, when I really leaned into it and felt into the energy, I was like, oh crap. Okay, this is not actually going to be what feels the best. Now, I don't know why, this is where too, like bigger things come in because there could be a reason why I'm not meant to be at the baby shower, but I'm meant to be somewhere else. Like maybe I'm going to meet my future husband tomorrow at this other event. Like, I don't know. Just saying, universe. Just saying, if you're listening.
We're gonna set that little intention, just a side note.
I know, right? You hear me like stick it in there. But I mean, really though, like that's where like we don't know these things that are at play bigger than
Potentially
just
waiting
like
for
our
us.
brain, what we think we should be doing in the moment. And that's why following the energy of it is so important because I really think when we are following our heart, when we're following the energy, when we're following the joy, that's where we're connected with source, we're connected with like life guidance, whatever it is that you believe. We're connected with this life guidance that is so much bigger than what we can see.
Absolutely.
And it's stuff like there was something that happened not too long ago, and I forget what it was. And I was like, look, maybe somebody was really late to something or something. And I said, you know what? It's fine because who knows? Like, maybe if you had gone to that thing, like, there was a car accident and your car would have been there, and like, da 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 da. Like, we don't know. So all we can do is
Absolutely.
like trust and surrender and follow our joy. And I just feel like at the end of the day, like if you're following what feels good and you're following the joy, like it never goes wrong ever.
I know, and also in the instances in my life where I've followed the joy and I've kind of disregarded the pathway of like perhaps knowledge, let's just refer to it as like the knowledge pathway, where your brain might be telling you like you should feel obligated to go to this baby shower or you should be doing this. It's kind of like what I talk about shitting all over yourself. In hindsight, looking back on those particular instances that I can really think where I followed the bliss and I moved forward. Sorry, guys, I don't know if something happened here. But in those instances where I followed the bliss and really disregarded the knowledge, I, in hindsight, have seen where it really helped me and like where it guided me and been like, oh, I saw where I was supposed to be in that moment. And of course, the day of, I was torn or feeling conflicted or whatever was coming up for me in that day. And then always verifying later on, okay, like, look, that worked out in my favor. The universe had my back.
Yes. Yeah, and look, like it's not easy because sometimes it doesn't make logical sense to us. Like it doesn't make logical sense in our brains. It's like, well, why wouldn't I want to do that? Or why is that the answer?
Yeah.
Sorry, my
Hold
dog
on
is
one
going
second.
bananas over I don't know what. So that's
I'm here.
where
Still.
we no, it's fine. But that's where we get into that confusion of I don't know what to do. And like Helen said, like I have trouble believing in what I'm guided to do and knowing the difference between source and ego. I'm gonna go see why my dog is going bananas. Like knowing the difference between source and ego, that's because you're in a battle between your heart and your brain. Like
Exactly.
that's what's happening. You're in a battle between your heart and your brain. Buddy's gonna say hi. Say hi.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, hi.
It's like my favorite dog. How freaking
And
cute.
so, you know, what I do, just a little quick tip, one of the big things I work with my clients on, like the first thing we work on is practices to support them in being grounded and being like really connected with their core. Because what Helen's talking about there, which thank you for sharing, Helen, because I feel like that's the number one thing people say is, yeah, but I get confused and I don't know which is which.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, like you have to have these practices that are going to really ground you to like in here, because the answers are not from the neck up.
And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah, girl, we all do. We all do, because here's what I do. I'll be like, oh, this is what I'm feeling called to do. And then my brain starts getting involved and starts questioning what I just decided in the moment so passionately, so like committed to it. So like, oh, yes, I know this is the answer. It feels good. And then my brain gets involved. And next thing you know, I'm questioning it. And
it's like, cannot compute.
I know,
Don't
it's like, what just happened? Like, we were so clear. Like 2 seconds ago, we were so clear. It's because this started to happen where you're like, yeah.
Absolutely. And Paul right now is weighing in. He said, don't shit your pants. That's right, Paul. That's exactly what we should not be doing. But he said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. And I couldn't agree with that more. Really, you know, Helen and Paul, one of the things that I think can be really valuable in, you know, like embracing and approaching this mindset is truly just taking it step by step. Like it doesn't have to be the, you know, the jump off the ledge or the really, it could start as simple as like telling that friend whose invitation that you RSVP to, yes, in a total people pleaser mood. Maybe it's like, you know, taking back that RSVP or like having an open conversation about what's coming up for you around that RSVP. Because it's not, like you said, it's not like you don't care about that friend. That's not at all what's happening here. It's creating the open communication enough to be like, you know what, friend, I love you enough to tell you that I don't want to be at your party this weekend. How can I support you differently? Or whatever it looks like.
Yeah. You know, some of the ways I practice this is just practicing.
Amy?
Sorry, my phone keeps ringing and I'm like, go away, people.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm busy here.
We're live.
I know, like, don't you know what's happening? Some of the ways that I practice this, though, is, and I find it fun to practice this way, is like when I go to a restaurant and I'm looking over the menu and it's like, oh, I'm, you know, what am I in the mood for? Like, I want this, I want that, da da da. I just like lean back, breathe in that moment, and I connect with, okay, what do I really want? And it always ends up being the perfect thing. And then do you ever go, okay, so do you ever go to a restaurant because you're like, John, I'm in the mood for Italian. Like, let's go to that Italian place I love because I want that like super awesome gluten-free pasta they have or whatever it is. And then you get there and you see something else and you're like, oh, wait, that looks really good. Maybe I want that. And you get the new thing, even though you had been thinking about that other thing like all the way up to there. And then you got the new thing and you're like, damn it, I should have gotten the thing I wanted. People, I do this all the time. Like so Better Buzz, I do this with Better Buzz because I like their best drinks ever. So their best drink ever, I'll literally be like, I want a best drink ever. I'll walk to Better Buzz and then I'll look at the menu and there'll be some cool new thing. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try that. Every single time. I'm like, why didn't I just get the thing I came for?
The thing that I knew I wanted.
Exactly, because what's happening is our brain, my brain in this moment, is attaching to something new and going, oh wait, that. No.
Well, and it's telling you too, it's giving you the rationale. You already know what the other one tastes like.
I know.
So you can always revert back to that next time should you not like this one more. But then you're like, God damn it, I should have just gotten the thing that I wanted. And that's something like I often do, you know what I mean? And truly, you know, I like the restaurant idea too. And I sometimes do this when I open the fridge. Instead of having this mentality of like, okay, I've planned what we're having for dinner, I'll open up the fridge and I'll like actually truly think about what I feel like what my body wants to eat. Yeah. And at times it's been really interesting because I've had like, you know, I don't know, leftover chicken and string beans, let's say. And like that will not at all be what I feel like. And I'll open the fridge and I'll be like, you know what? I almost feel like defrosting something, like a thing of soup. And I'll defrost the thing of soup. And when I do that, I feel like my body feels so nourished because I've actually given it what it's like craving and what it's wanting.
Yeah.
So this applies to all different areas, like really starting to trust your gut and maybe, you know, stepping away from the mindset of, okay, well, I've got these leftovers, these might go bad or blah, blah. I've already planned this for dinner, and give yourself and your body the liberty to really choose in the moment of what it needs in regards to the nutrients too. Like
Yeah.
this is something that I have experimented a lot with my body.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love this example because it's such an easy way for people to practice it, because we're all eating several times a day. Like several times a day, we're faced with this dilemma of what are we going to feed ourselves with. So, and it's such a clear, like, you can taste the food. You can know, like, yes, this is what I wanted. No, this wasn't what I wanted. Like, it's such a great way of practicing it. So as you practice it with stuff like that, that's when you can then put it into play in other areas of your life. Like, I have this job offer. Do I want to take it or not? Is it aligned or not? Do I feel expansive or not? Is this on my path or not? So yeah, I love just using that as a practice.
And I love it too because really, you guys, eating is such a simple yet beautiful thing that we can get joy from, and it becomes such a mindless activity. I was really reminded of this in the last few weeks when I've, for some reason, you know, slipped back into a temporary gastroparesis moment where I was very literally for a week unable to, like, you know, my mouth wasn't producing saliva. That's to the extent that my digestion had shut down. So literally nothing tasted good. And so now, like, even just having that week of a lapse, I've had so much gratitude around my food and eating this week that it's been so beautiful for me, actually. So I really encourage you, if eating has become something mindless for you, just like total side note, and you stuff it down and you're eating as you're like doing other work, or you're just totally mindless about the nutrient that you're giving your body, like today as you're eating your next meal, like I really encourage you to pause and take a moment to really enjoy the fact that not only are you blessed enough to be eating that amazing food that's nourishing you, but like taking the moment to indulge in it. Like food is a great way to get joy on a daily basis by just eating your 3 meals and incorporating joy into those meals.
Yes. I love these conversations because I had no idea that we were going to end up talking about like food and eating and how that relates.
I know.
How that relates to like literally following your gut and how you got like no idea.
Literally. I know.
No idea.
It's perfect.
I love it. It's
Everything's
true though.
Perfect.
It's true though, because I really like to give people examples on how to anchor in these kind of bigger topics that I've talked about that are a little hard to be like, yeah, but how do I do that when I've spent a lifetime questioning myself, questioning my decisions, like not knowing, or having like a big decision in front of me where, you know, I'm going back and forth and I just really don't know what the answer is. So I love it.
Absolutely. I love it because everything, yeah, can trickle down to very small, minute examples or like be massively big picture.
Yeah.
But my friend, I know that you've got an 11 a.m. and I want to be mindful of your time. Can you tell the audience about the course that you just recently launched? Because in addition to this being just a totally applicable topic of life, I know that you recently launched a course along the lines of this.
I did, and I would be happy to share it. Yeah, so it's all about like live your life compass, which is really about if you're going through this experience of I question myself, I question my decisions, I don't know, is this source talking to me? Is this ego talking to me? Is this like my mom's voice?
What is it?
I know. Is this like, you know, my spouse's voice? Like, I don't know.
Who's talking to me?
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's just take a time out, skirt, and take the time to get reconnected with you, reconnected with your core. And the way that the course is lined out, like it's a pretty short but super impactful course. I taught it at my most recent retreat, and everyone that went through it, everyone that went through the material, they were like, this is blowing my mind. So, I can post the link below, but it's Coach Amy Ramsey, coachamyramsey.com/compass.
Nice.
And yeah, and if you hop in there now, there's some bonuses that are over $1,000. One is I have a Take Control of Your Money course that will be sent to you, which is huge because a lot of people make decisions based on money and based on their bank account. Another conversation that we could talk about for 50 days.
Are you still there?
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know what you missed or what you didn't. But anyway, so it's got a bonus money course, and then it also comes with a bonus call with me. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Somebody give me love. Okay. Like
You're here. You're here.
Okay, so yeah, so right now if you grab it, it's got these bonuses, and like, look, it's a super inexpensive. It's $80. So I mean, hello, $8.
Yay! It was a little broken up.
Okay, cool. It's all good. I'll post the link
Okay,
below.
so it was a little broken up. Yeah, post the link.
Okay. Whew. I'm hot again, girl. Yeah, I don't
Not
know
sure what's happening here, Facebook. Come on, Facebook.
But yeah, I'll post the link below, and then, but yeah, it's super inexpensive. It's got all these bonuses. You can hop on a call with me, and yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to spend a call on the phone with you, my friend? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm sorry that we're experiencing what seems like some technical difficulties. I'm glad I see a lot of you like, I can still see you and hear you, so that's great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Paul, I love the comments. Paul was like, do you remember me? Big glasses. Remember he was wearing those glasses at the house for me?
Huge glasses.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. Yeah, Paul's watching right now.
So funny.
All right, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Friday. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.